Alright, streaming now. And Alexi is joining me tonight in Hangouts. And gonna be doing some odds and ends today. I've got a new setup with the whole desk. I'm standing now. You can see my personal library behind me this time, whereas previously it was to my right, not behind me. I am going to work on boutique first today, and I'm going to work on something that David, the designer, needs. He needs some stuff. Gonna serve his needs today. And then when I get done with that, I'll probably just work on some odds and ends. There's a PR to Duke, the Rust Elasticsearch client. And there's actually some book edits I need to do. I might stream those. We'll see. We will see. I don't usually stream book stuff, but I'm in a mood. And I'm going to bring up Twitch so that if anybody joins me on Twitch, I can see the chat. Okay, there we go. Alrighty then, let's go ahead and log in, and let's go here. So, Mr. David, Mr. Deutsch, he is working on, I think, the product page right now. Yeah, okay. So, he's working on the buttons. That's not what they're going to look like in the end, but that's what he's working on. That's just mine. That's just a placeholder. I knew he was going to change that. Whew. Okay, so one of the things he wanted to be able to put a little like shopping cart icon. He was trying to avoid it because he knows I'm kind of touchy about page weight, or page weight's like a front end jargon for like how many bytes do you need to download before the page is done, you know? And I am kind of touchy about that. I get very upset when websites are slow. I have gigabit internet and a 10-core desktop. Nothing should be slow. And yet it is. So, what David suggested, which was actually a really good idea, is inline SVGs. So SVG is scalable vector graphics. So that's the difference between like a raster and a vector right there. So raster would just be like a normal pixel-based image, and then vectors, you're actually describing a curve mathematically, so you can render it as high a fidelity as you want, basically. You can just pick your DPI. That doesn't necessarily mean vectors will scale perfectly. It depends on the artist. You have to choose your curves and how things are structured carefully so that it scales up gracefully. Because if you don't, then as it gets bigger, it'll actually start looking kind of janky. So you have to be careful about that. Anyway, so the shopping cart, if it's an SVG, it'll actually be a lot smaller. And what I need is something, shopping cart SVG, Creative Commons. Okay. Oh, well, okay, that's not really like a line art SVG, but it is an SVG file, so. So yeah, basically you notice I zoomed in a bunch, and it's not like gritty and pixely. It actually just kind of scales up to whatever size you put it at. So this is licensed Creative Commons, it looks like. Share, adapt with attribution. Okay, that's fine. And that's Nicholas Mangini. Okay. Download the SVG. Okay. My email's public anyway, so I don't really care if you people see it. Choose a license, royalty free, Creative Commons. I'm just using this for testing. What the? Come on. I just need this for testing. Why are you doing this? Ugh. Shop. Okay. Download SVG Creative Commons. I don't understand. All right. Okay, so I'm gonna grab that. And move in my static directory. Do we have an SVG? Where should SVG go? Looks like we've got one thing in Favicon. Name SVG. Hey, SB Ditto 85's here. Hello. Good to see you. Font, image, logo. I'd say image is fine. I don't think it's really a favicon. And that's a noun. Shopping cart. SVG. There we go. Okay. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to try integrating this. I'm going to screenshot this so I remember who I got this from. Alright. Right, so I'm just going to try to add an image there. Image tag, SVG, browser. I don't think SVG supports a big deal anymore, right? SVG primer. If you use object, then you get raster fallback for free. On error. Okay. That's fine. What template is this going to be? I just need something here, I think. RG. Add to cart. So it's going to be store view, which I kind of should have figured. Oh, I'm in Haskell right now. Oops. There we go. Peak. Store view. Add to cart. Okay. Static image shopping carts. Okay, it's reloading now. Well, I mean, fair enough. Oh, are you serious? Hold on. Did he really? Yeah, he tacked on the thing. That's funny. So it's Creative Commons if it includes his name underneath. I mean, that's technically CC by attribution, yeah. That's pretty funny though. Okay. Alright, so can I make this into div, button success, big button, and shove the input underneath. Maybe do like That's interesting. So we've got an unstyled button and a teensy tiny little shopping cart in there. Oh man. Actually had a second round of coffee today. Like 3 or 4 hours ago. Clearly it wasn't enough. Alright, let me see here. So I could try making this prettier, but there's no real point. I mean, David's already working on it. He just wants a way to inline this SVG, and I don't actually know why he wants it to be inline. Pros, cons. Seems like you wouldn't be able to cache it if it was inline. Could use an icon font. Inline SVG. Web pages are larger in total size. SVG images cannot be cached by the browser. I don't. That doesn't seem better. Just seem. Yeah. This is actually comparing inline SVG to icon font. I don't understand. Why wouldn't you just use a referenced SVG? Hey, Texie. Good to see you again. 10 reasons we switched from an icon font to SVG. Okay, none of these actually... I get why you're not using an icon font, but... SB Ditto 85 said if you use an SVG tag, then you can apply CSS styles to it. Yeah, it makes sense. What I'm confused about is my designer David. He wanted me to implement inline SVG in the Haskell code. Sorry, I'm tired today. Long day. Reorganized the whole office and everything. So yeah. I don't actually know why you would want to do inline SVG. I don't know why you wouldn't just reference it like a normal image with a source. That's what I don't understand. I don't get why you wouldn't just do that instead of inline SVG. And nobody really explains it. They always compare an icon font to inline SVG. Background SVG? SVG markup. Rasterize the most. Frame rates were best for font icons and worst for inline SVGs. Background SVG seem to have one paint event for each icon drawn on the screen. SB Ditto. By CSS, I mean you can change the colors using SVG paths, not just the image size. Yeah, I figured. As an image tag, you can only apply CSS to the image tag, not the SVG info. Yeah, no, that makes sense. I've styled SVGs before. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about referencing an SVG like this versus an inline SVG. The image tag doesn't. I don't know if that's even going to work, but. SVG versus image tag I don't really care about. What I want to know is why it should be inline versus a referenced thing. It seems like that works. No, it doesn't work. There's probably some other way I'm meant to do that. Okay. No, not W for schools. Where's MDN SVG? SVG element reference, attribute reference. Whew. That's a lot of elements. Okay, can I just... I just want to know what to rename a source to. Come on. Getting started. There we go. Okay. Getting started. Oh. Is the SVG tag inline only? Can I not source it? Oh. Object data. Okay. object data. There we go. Okay. Okay. Yeah, it worked. Okay, so I return to my original question, which is, why wouldn't I just do this so I can cache it? Because I'm pretty certain it can. So if I filter SVG, shopping cart SVG, 1.2 kilobytes, and then if I refresh from disk cache, yeah. So it can cache it if I do the referenced, and this is a common icon, so I still don't know why you would want to inline it. Why inline SVG? If inline SVG isn't your jam, remember it does have some legit drawbacks like being hard to cache. Yes. Inline. Inline. SVG is an object. Okay. Seems widely supported. Why inline SVG is the best SVG. Okay. Hold on. Stamp. He's comparing images to object. Inline mode. Like an extra set of HTML tags for drawing. Inline. Animations, user interactions, JavaScript, controllable from outside. None of these are things I want. I want it to be fast and small. I don't want JavaScript to be able to manipulate it, I just want it to load quickly. That's it. Okay, this is for like interactive transitions and a bunch of other stuff. I still don't see why you couldn't still use CSS for stuff, because if you load it by reference, the CSS should still apply to the SVG markup, right? So this doesn't actually make the case for inline SVG, in my opinion. Maybe this has a transcript. Not really. Inline SVG versus object. Access document. Okay. Yeah, I mean, it seems like you can still manipulate the contents of an object that was loaded by reference and not inline, because I can see the structure of it right there. So if I go to console, Oh, there it is. Yeah, and there's the rest of the... Seems fine to me. I don't know why you need inline SVG still. I could implement it speculatively, but implement it with the proviso that I'd like to understand why inline specifically is necessary. Oh, let's just do that. We'll just implement it and I'll ask him why he wants that. Emacs is very clever. Alright, yeah, so if I wanted to do this inline, excuse me, sorry, I would do embed, I think. Something like that. What did they do? They just have an SVG tag. Maybe that's all I need to do. Ah, come on. Wait, a tick? It's not even showing up. What's going on here? There it is. That's kind of interesting though, because when I do it inline, I can't really get it to work inside of the input tag for some reason. But if I do an object reference, it works fine. Okie dokie. Hamlet, escaped, Haskell, escape, free escape to markup, input elements not allowed to contain block elements. Right, so an image or an object reference would be like an inline element, but the SVG tag is a block element. Do I have that right? Yep. Non-scope ST. Are you serious? How would ST not be in scope? Good lord. Import text. Shakespeare. I use this thing all the time. Okay. Reload. What? Yeah. Cool. Alright. So we've rendered an SVG from a value, so next what we're going to do is make probably an icons.hs. Helpers. Okay. Skip to markup. Okay. What's that inline file thing? It's like a generic thing. Wait! You don't test template 5 path. It's close. I just need to do less. There's some Shakespeare somewhere. I could have sworn there's something called like inline file. I guess text file. It's just text. Text file. Settings Shakespeare file. Yeah, give it a shot. Import foundation. Yeah. Huh. T to data.text about builder. I need to see. What's Shakespeare file? Oops. Oh, it's hidden, isn't it? Alright. Show me. Oh, I'm probably missing. What am I missing? Shakespeare settings file path QXP. Wow, that is supremely unhelpful. Yeah, it's QXP. Shakespeare from string read file Q. Oops. Whoops. Bind Shakespeare from string. Shakespeare from string. Q run IO contents to Shakespeare. Well, it explains the builder. So it might just be my initial intuition of discharge the builder. Render, base ID, builder from text. To markup. T to builder. Fuck. Alright. Shopping cart icon. No, this is for show HTML. Are you serious? Render. To. What's the damn render? So tedious. Okay. Tell it. We'll go back to view. Import helpers. .icons. SVG text. Shopping cart icon. Don't need that anymore. Yep, I know it doesn't exist. Alright. Still works. Okay, so let me explain why I just did that. I don't like things breaking silently. So what I did was I staged out this shopping cart icon thing into a different module, and then I'm using template Haskell to pull the file basically at compile time into the source code. It's executing compile time. So if this file doesn't exist, it should actually break the build. So to demonstrate that, whoops. Alright, I moved the file, it's rebuilding on the bottom. Ah, it broke. Open file does not exist. So if I just reverse the process, of course, a rebuild, it's not tracking the file anymore. Yeah, works fine now. So I have already solved the problem which I set out to solve, which is inline SVG. Okay, so that's pretty much done. And I can actually, I'm not going to move this into import yet. And I'm not going to do that because I don't want to use that shopping cart icon. I think, actually, to be honest, I think David will just make his own. But, you know, oops, GPOC, not GPO. There we go. Alright, so I'm going to bebop back over here. Dun. So my guess right now is that he wants inline SVG because it's easier to style with easier to style with CSS. I don't know why that would be a problem because CSS styles elements that get loaded after the fact all the time, but that's all I can really come up with at the moment. Okay. It actually went pretty quickly. I started 30 minutes ago, and I've already got it, so that's pretty cool. Alright, we're gonna look at Rust now, since I've already got that done. And let me see here. Okay, I'm just gonna sweep these tabs. Bye. There we go. Alright. Oh, why do I still have notifications? Biggest lens. Not anymore. Alright. Kill. Duke. Alright, so fshut wants to merge two commits into byte master from fshut master follow. Print PDF. Easy use library for writing PDF in Rust. Neat. What else they got? Gaussian blur. Xlib. Rust interface designer. That's interesting. It's empty. It's less interesting. Lane fan base app. Serial Experiments Lane fan. Alright. Volcano. Yeah. This is my kind of person. Alright. So, they have some style tips. They're fixing up Duke, fixing my problems, which is cool. So string stuff. String could be coerced into ref stir, but not the other way around. You can use ref string in places that require ref stir and function arguments, so just take a ref stir. Alright. That makes sense. I forgot to fix this. I actually read about this last week, and I told myself, oh, next time I work on Duke, I should convert everything to ref stir since it can cast it, it can downcast it anyway. But I forgot, so I'm glad they did this. You made your index name, map name already references to a certain location. Binary, you don't need to make them strings and take references again. Unnecessary heap allocation. Alright, cool. I'm always in favor of reducing allocation. Headers mute, turns value, where you can use method chain to basically put the result directly in a set content type JSON. This temporary value lives into the end of the line. Same thing as before, just nice syntax. Alright. I see, yeah. Makes sense. Match. Stir. Okay. And yeah, there we go. That fixed all of it. That was super annoying, and they fixed it. I wondered what I was doing wrong there. They got rid of all my stupid two strings. That's awesome. That's much better. Alright, cool. Those are some nice improvements. So it's just the function arguments, I think, that can get converted. I think the data structures still have to own their contents. Or at least, I assume so. Oh. Whoops, no, that target. Sorry, excuse me. Yeah. So much nicer. Alright, cool. Those are some nice improvements. Alright. Let me see here. What are you up to, Alexi? Is it like a bind gen? Okay, cool. Alexi's working on bindings generator for C++. Sorry? Sure, yeah, he didn't make it, but he's contributing to a bindings generator for Rust and C++. It's what? Oh, that wouldn't surprise me. Apparently it's the bindings generator they use in Servo, which makes sense, because Servo has to integrate with a lot of C++ to be part of like Firefox or anything, or to integrate with anything else for that matter. So, yeah, no, that makes sense. Well, is there anything else I can work on in Boutique? Don't show address form. Handle missing address, never bought before case. Make products giftable. Show errors when if payment fails, safe and enrich a string. Address validation confirmation. Okay. Probably just do this. Okie dokie. So we want to, yeah, I know, shush. Okay. So if I'm buying a digital only product, I shouldn't have to type in an address, and I shouldn't have to update it or do anything with that. Which actually applies to the current shopping cart, I'm pretty sure. I haven't actually added the physical products to it yet. Yeah, it's just going to keep doing that, isn't it? Alright. Okay. Well, let's take a look at store view. And we're looking for address, checkout view, yeah. So I think since widget is a monad, I think I can just use return unit for an empty widget. So mostly I just need to case on the user cart products to ascertain what kinds of things are contained therein. So I'm going to need like a helper to figure out what kind of media is associated with the product. Okay. So we want to grab all of the product IDs and we want to get the associated digital media and physical media. Okay. I think I already have something for this somewhere. reset user password. It's going to be in store, isn't it? Nope. Store query. Media. These are digital products. User owns media. User media for product. I don't really have anything specifically for that. Okay. So we want to grab. It's really two queries. I want to select all of the digital media for anything in a list of product IDs, and I want to select all the physical media for all of the product IDs in a list. So products media. Product tuple media digital media DB. All right, so digital media products DNM digital media products return PM DNM where digital media products down a notch, see it a little better. Sorry about that. Okay, select inner join. I don't know. Figure it out. Inner join, digital media. I can parameterize this, but I'm gonna leave it alone for the moment. Product ID equals digital media product. Where digital media product in this bad boy in ballast products return digital media. Reload. Parse error and input. Yeah, I do need to do there. Reader T. Need to indent. 70. What did I do wrong? expect to type in or join. I've got a syntactic problem here that I'm not seeing. Oh, duh. Already in scope. Oh, yeah, entity. Already done. Alright. Now I can just copy and paste this physical. And done. And yeah, that's good to go. So fixtures, run.db, get select list, and filter empty ops. And we're going to say this is db list entity product. Yeah, so SQL backend key 1 and 2 like I thought. So now we're going to do run the db products media to SQL key 1 to SQL key 2 exception. Physical media Shopify SKU does not exist. Fair enough. I haven't actually done that yet. Shopify SKU. Whoops. There we go. And yeah, empty list for products and full list for that. So what I can do now is import handler store query now. Check out view. Products media. View. Alright, if it's an empty list, then we don't need the address, so our widget is going to be return unit. I'm actually just going to get rid of this tuple. It's dumb. Alright. Return unit. Otherwise, form post and fmap first over that. That's mad. Widget tapp.io with unit. Turn empty. Yep. Okay. Alright, so I go back here, reload, checkout, and it's mostly gone. I do need to, I need to add a little flag that says that the is this address accurate thing can go away, but, you know, we're getting there. Is physical, so that'll be return empty false, do address widget, ignore, return address widget true. If is physical, if is physical, check that. I don't really want to do the next branch, but if, can I do when? Or just one if, that a thing? We'll try it. Yeah, you can do a single branch, like a when. Okay, cool. So if I refresh this, it nukes it. Cool. Alright. It now conditions that behavior on whether or not it actually needs to get an address for a digital product. Or physical product, sorry. Condition requesting address on physical media cart. And this is now done. Alright. I don't usually stop this soon, but it's been pretty quiet tonight, and my back is starting to hurt, so I might call it here in a minute. Does anybody have any questions before I go? Go ahead, Alexi. Alexi was asking me about good resources for learning C. Okay, so, I don't have a good answer to this. I'm sorry. You're gonna have to pull from a bunch of different resources. I think the best, like, beginner, just kind of getting started deal, I think Zed Shaw's Learn C the Hard Way is a good way to start, but you're gonna have to do a lot more than that. From there, I don't know. Learn to read the C standard, maybe? I actually have better answers for C++, to be honest. For C++, you should get C++ Primer, not the Prada book, the Barbara Moo book. This one. The Lippmann LeJoy Moo book. This is a good book. You can see I bought it back in 2012. That's a good book. I don't have a book like this for C. I'm sorry. Yeah, Zed Shaw's Learn C the Hard Way, and then you're just gonna have to hack a lot. Sorry. All I'm trying to find a good C book. Or at least one that goes beyond what Zed's book covers. Yeah, I see that. Mr. Arnold Palmer said, I just got in. What is this HTML syntax instead of Haskell? So it's a great question. So what this is this is the actual template library is called Hamlet, and it's part of a Haskell package called Shakespeare. It's this guy right here. And Shakespeare can actually do a bunch of stuff. It has a syntax like that for CSS, HTML, JavaScript, some other odds and ends. I basically use it for the Shakespeare text, for raw text, and for Hamlet, which is HTML specific. And it tries really hard to make certain you can't like accidentally, let people inject bad content in your pages and stuff. It does a good job of helping you out with that. Let me see here. So then the way it's actually embedded in here is a quasi-quoter. So the quasi-quoter syntax, the way it works is basically you have open bracket, like an array, and then name of the quasi-quoter, pipe, the actual content, and then pipe, close bracket. And that basically delimits a quasi-quoter block. So you're able to write HTML, basically plain HTML. The difference is you don't do closing tags, you do indent structure like Haml. That's why it's called Hamlet. And yeah, it has like some basic control structures like loops and if and that kind of thing. Works fine. And then yeah, that's my template language, Hamlet. I like it because it helps continue the type safety that I get out of Yesod, and yeah, it's pretty nice. Danny Fritz said Vim understands Wamlet as an HTML syntax block. I have no idea what Vim does. This is Emacs. Yeah, I don't know. I think Haskell mode knows to switch the mode, because that's all that's really in scope here is, at least I think. Whoops. No, not mode line. Hold on. Yeah, I've got Haskell mode, snippet, undo tree, Haskell indent, editor config, and LDoc. So the only relevant one is Haskell mode. So yeah, apparently Haskell mode knows how to do that the right way. I don't know. Yeah, I don't really think about it. That's a good question, though. I guess I just gotta take it for granted. I don't think it always did that. I don't know when they changed that. I just kind of update my my Haskell mode periodically, and stuff changes, and I don't really pay much attention beyond that. Let me see here. Do we have any other questions from the Twitch people? Lexi, you got anything else? Okay. Yeah, no problem. Well, if there isn't anything else, then I'm going to grab my dogs and hold them in front of the camera, and then we're going to call it a night. Let me turn down the audio here. Alright. Here we go. First dog. This is my dog, Papu. Hi, Papu. Say hi. There you go. Alright. Down you go. I'm not going to try to pick up Jack. He's got bad hips. There's Jack. Hi, Jack. He's a good boy. Alright. Alright. That's... Oh. Hold on. Can't hear you. I can fix that. What'd you say, Lexi? don't use Go, ever. Switch careers before you use Go. Alright, that's all for me, people. You have a good night. Bye. Oh, and thank you for joining me, as always. Love to get questions. See ya.